Om Shanti. Today is the Sakar Murli of 17th July 2021. Essence, Baba says, sweet children, the Father, the ocean of knowledge, has come to give each of you a third eye of knowledge, with which the lights of your souls are ignited. Question: why is the Father called Karan Karavanhar? What does he do himself? And what does he inspire others to do? Answer: Baba says, I carry out the task of speaking the Murli to you children. I speak the Murli to you, give you a mantra, and make you worthy. I then carry out the inauguration of heaven through you children. You become messengers and give everyone the message. I give you children directions. This is my mercy and blessings. Song: who has come here in the early morning hours? Om Shanti. You children heard this song? Who comes to awaken us children early in the morning, so that our third eyes of knowledge completely open? Our third eyes of knowledge have been opened by the ocean of knowledge, the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. It is said that the Father is the one who ignites our lights, but no one knows that He is the Father. The Brahma Samajis believe that He is a flame, a light. They keep a lamp constantly lit in their temples because they believe God to be a form of light. This is why they continue to light a lamp in their temples. This Father does not light your lamp with matches. This is something completely unique. It is sung, the ways and means of God are unique. You children now understand that the Father comes and teaches you knowledge and yoga in order to grant you salvation. There definitely has to be someone to teach you this. The body would not teach anything. It is the soul that does everything. Good and bad sanskars are in souls. Because of the existence of Ravan, at this time the sanskars of human beings are bad. That is, the five vices have entered everyone. These five vices do not exist in the deities. When there was the deity's self-sovereignty in Bharat, these bad sanskars did not exist. You were full of all virtues. The deities had such good sanskars, and you are now imbibing them. Only the Father comes and grants everyone salvation in a second. There have been gurus, saints, etc. on the path of devotion from its beginning, but none of them can grant salvation or liberation to a single person. It is only when the Father comes that everyone receives salvation. People call out to the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, for Him to come and destroy the impure world and inaugurate the pure world, that is, open the gates to the pure world. The Father comes and opens the gates through the Shiv Shakti mothers. Salutations to the mothers has been remembered. None of the women of this time are saluted because none of them are elevated. It is those who are born through the power of yoga who are called elevated. Lakshmi and Narayana are called elevated. When deities existed in Bharat, it was elevated. Human beings don't know these things. They continue to make their own plans. Gandhiji too wanted the kingdom of Rama, which proves that this is the kingdom of Ravan. Bharat is impure. However, the unlimited Bapuji is needed to establish the kingdom of Rama and to destroy the kingdom of Ravan. You children know that the kingdom of Ravan is now to be set on fire. All souls are sleeping in the sleep of ignorance. You know that you too were sleeping and that the Father came and awakened you. The night of devotion is coming to an end and the day is beginning. The night is ending and the day is beginning. The Father comes at the confluence age. He gives you children divine visions and the third eye of knowledge, through which you now know the whole world. It is your intellects that this is a predestined, imperishable drama, and that it continues to turn. You have now woken up. The whole world is sleeping. You children now know the beginning, the middle, and the end of the whole world. The incorporeal world, the subtle region, and the corporeal world. All the rest of the world is sleeping in the sleep of ignorance of Kumbhakarna. No one knows who the purifier is. People call out, "O purifier, come." They don't say, "Come and tell us the secrets of the beginning, the middle, and the end of the drama." The Father says, by knowing this cycle, you will become the rulers of the globe. Only by having remembrance do you become pure. You also know that destruction is just ahead. The war has to take place. There wasn't a war between the Kauravas and the Pandavas. Who were the Pandavas? No one knows. There is no question of an army, etc. You have the Supreme Soul from beyond this world on your side in a practical way. Only from that Father do you receive the inheritance. You know that the Krishna soul take 84 births and that he is now receiving the inheritance from the Father once again. The history and geography of the world repeat. You children now definitely have to become Sato Pradhan before destruction takes place. Remain as pure as a lotus while living at home with your family. God speaks, is remembered while living at home. Become pure in this one birth. Past is past. All of this is fixed in the drama. The world has to become Sato Pradhan. This too is destined in the drama. It is not destined by God. The destiny of the drama is created in this way. This is what the Father sits here and explains. The Father comes when the second half of the cycle comes to an end. The Father says, I come when the night comes to an end and the day is to begin. People also speak of the night of Shiva. The worshippers of Shiva believe in the night of Shiva. The government has stopped celebrating that as a holiday. Otherwise, that holiday should continue for at least 1 month. No one knows that Shiv Baba is the bestower of salvation for all. Only he is the remover of sorrow and the bestower of happiness for all. His birthday should be celebrated with a lot of pomp and splendor by those of all religions for at least 1 month. The Father comes and directly grants salvation to Bharat in particular. When Bharat was heaven, it used to be the kingdom of the deities. None of the other religions existed at that time. The deities were the masters of the world. There was no partition, etc. This is why it is said we are once again attaining our strong, unshakable, divine kingdom of peace, happiness and prosperity. 5,000 years ago, too, you received the unlimited inheritance from the unlimited Father. There was no mention of sorrow in the Sun and Moon dynasty kingdoms. It is remembered, as is King Rama, so are the subjects of Rama. There was no irreligiousness there. Baba has also explained to you about Brahma and Vishnu and what their relationship with each other is. They have created such a wonderful picture showing Brahma emerging from the navel of Vishnu. The Father explains that it is Lakshmi and Narayan who become Saraswati and Brahma, the world mother and world father at the end. These two become Vishnu, that is Lakshmi and Narayan. The Father sits here and explains that all those images you see are inaccurate. Even the big image they create of Shiva is inaccurate. They created big images for devotion. How could a point be worshipped? They can't even understand about Brahma, Vishnu and Shankar. They speak of Trimurti Brahma. They even speak of establishment by Brahma and sustenance by Vishnu. But Brahma doesn't carry out establishment. Would Brahma carry out the establishment of heaven? No. Only the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, carries out the establishment of heaven. This soul is impure and is called corporeal Brahma. This soul will then become pure and go back home. He will then go to the golden age and become Narayan. So, Prajapita Brahma is definitely needed here. However, they have shown images of him existing there. Similarly, the ornaments of knowledge are in fact yours, but they have given them to Vishnu. After they perform intense devotion, they have visions. Mira's name is remembered. Among the males, the number one devotee is Narad, and among the females, Mira is remembered. You are now listening to this knowledge in order to become worthy of marrying Lakshmi or Narayan. Your marriages also takes place. They have shown Narad going into a gathering and asking if he could marry Lakshmi. You are now becoming worthy of marrying Lakshmi. All of those stories belong to the path of devotion. The Father sits here and explains to you the things that are real. Lakshmi existed in the golden age, whereas Narad, the devotee, existed in the copper age. How would Narad have come in the golden age? It is Radhe and Krishna who are named Lakshmi and Narayan after their marriage. The people of Bharat don't even know this. There is so much darkness of ignorance. The Father is the benefactor. He makes you benefactors too. Now churn the ocean of knowledge about how to explain to others. The Father sits here and explains how the pictures have been created. They have portrayed Nehru emerging from the navel of Gandhi. There is so much difference between the deity Vishnu and that human being. Only you children now understand these things. You experience happiness number-wise. The unlimited Father is teaching us. You have never heard these things before because they have written that the Gita was spoken by God Krishna. When did God come? And when did he speak the Gita? There is no date or time. They say that the duration of the cycle is hundreds of thousands of years. It doesn't enter anyone's intellect. The Father now sits here and explains to you children. The tree of Brahmins continues to grow. The number of you is growing larger and it will become countless. You children know how the different clans go around the cycle. The clan of us Brahmins is the most elevated. We are real, incognito, social workers of Bharat. The Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, is making us do service. We do spiritual service, whereas those people do physical service. When they ask you how you are serving Bharat, tell them, we are spiritual service. We are having heaven inaugurated and established. Shiv Baba is Karan Karavan Har and is making us do everything. He also carries it out. Who speaks the Murli? He does that. He also teaches you how to do the same. He gives you the great mantra, Man Mana Bhav. He taught you how to perform actions. He then tells you, now teach others. This is why he is called Karan Karavan Har. You children also give the same teachings. Remember the Father and the inheritance. You children have to make this message reach everywhere. It shouldn't be that you give this message to others and that you yourself don't stay in remembrance. What would happen then? Others will make effort and go ahead, whereas those who gave them the message will be left behind. When you don't make effort for remembrance, you are unable to claim a high status. Others will become pure through the pilgrimage of remembrance. Just as Baba gives the example of the women who are in bondage, they stay in remembrance a great deal. Even though they haven't met Baba, they still write letters to Baba. Baba, I now belong to you. I will definitely remain pure. You children have loving intellects for the Father. Your rosary is created. There is the dual bed in the rosary of Vishnu and in the rosary of Rudraksh. As soon as you pick up a rosary, the tassel and the dual bed first come into your hand. You salute them. Then there is the rosary. You are making Bharat into heaven, and this rosary is therefore your memorial. The Father has created the sacrificial fire of the knowledge of the Gita. The whole of the old world will be sacrificed into it. The Father is the most beloved Father. He gives you the inheritance of constant happiness for your future 21 births. Those who claimed their inheritance in the previous cycle will definitely come again according to the drama plan. The Father says, children, if you want to go to the land of happiness, become pure. Remember me. You don't have to ask for mercy or help. No, I help everyone, but it is you who have to make effort. There is no question of blessings. The Father says, constantly remember me alone. It is your duty to remember me. To give you directions is His mercy. You may eat and drink, tour around, but you must only eat pure food. We are becoming deities. There won't be onions, etc. there. All of that has to be renounced here. Those things do not exist there. Even their seats don't exist there. Similarly, there is no illness, etc. in the golden age. Look how much illness has emerged now. There is nothing impure there. Everything is Sato Pradhan. Look at what people here eat. The Father now tells you, children, remember me and break away from everyone else and connect yourself to me alone, and you will become pure. Acha, to the sweetest, beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance and good morning from the Mother, the Father, Bab Dada. The spiritual father says Namaste to the spiritual children. Essence for dharana. Number 1, past is past. Forget the past and make effort to become Sato Pradhan while living at home with your family. Definitely become pure before destruction takes place. Second, remain engaged in doing the true service of making Bharat into heaven. Your food and drink must be very pure. Only eat pure food. Blessing, may you become a spiritual rose and spread your spiritual fragrance far and wide as a spiritual server. Spiritual roses spread the fragrance of their spirituality far and wide with their spiritual attitude. The Supreme Spirit is always merged in their vision. They always look at the Spirit, the soul, and speak to the soul. I am a soul, and I always walk under the canopy of the Supreme Spirit. Karavan Har, the one who makes me move of myself, a soul, is the Supreme Spirit. Those who experience the Lord to be present with them at every second are constantly imperishable and constant in their spiritual fragrance. This is the number 1 speciality of a spiritual server. Slogan, to be free from obstacles and claim number 1 in doing service means to be a number 1 fortunate soul. Om Shanti.